Those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Won't you take me by the hand? Won't you let me know what's up in your head? And I know, oh, it might not be the right time for you and me. And that's okay, as long as you're happy. Yeah, that's okay, as long as you're happy. Won't you let me know what's real? Won't you tell me just for once how you feel? And I know, oh, it might not be the right time for you and me. And that's okay, as long as you're happy. Yeah, that's okay, as long as you're happy. Won't you take me by the hand? Won't you let me know what's up in your head? And I know, oh, it might not be the right time for you and me. And that's okay, as long as you're happy. Yeah, that's okay, if you wanna be without me.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Welcome to the beginning of another week. Yesterday was a do-over. Today is the real deal.
It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's another day of the week. What difference does it make?
Good morning to you. Happy June.
Happy June.
Can you believe June 1st, 2022 is all I can say.
I don't want to
Happy
hear
Wednesday.
it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about the date. I don't want to hear about getting older. I don't want to hear none of that.
Who said we're getting older?
People are telling me, you know, this does just get older. All I want to hear is that my Mets are winning. My Rangers play tonight, they're winning. The Yankees are winning. Everybody's winning.
Except the Heat's not win.
I'm done. Bye. We don't bring up the Heat. That's done. The Rangers may lose to Tampa Bay, and that'll be done. But right now, I'm riding the wave. The music you heard today, original song by Rio, who has just signed with AmpItUp.fm.
Nice.
And we have 21 of his songs. We're going to upload that one because I love that song.
Love that song.
And did you hear what HR said?
She said best song she thinks that we produce, actually.
She says his music is Brooklynish.
Brooklynish? I don't know if it's Brooklynish. I think it's very...
New Yorkish?
I don't even know if it's New York. It's kind of like jazzy, coffee shop, kind of hanging out.
That's New York.
Cafe. It's very cafe-ish, is all I can tell you.
It's New York-ish.
Good morning to everyone at WWNN. We've got new owners, so new disclaimers, new owners, and yes, we are now able to play music. So that music was from Rio, and more music coming to you on radio.
We're gonna find out if we're able to as soon as he
we did it.
Tells me,
you know, this is what Freddie does. We do, and we ask forgiveness later.
Right. That's right.
Good morning, Mr. I hope we have Mr. Radio on the other side of this. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
He's doing all right, and there he is.
Boy, don't be so spontaneous that you got to be more bubbly, like champagne.
I'm doing great.
There you go. That's what I was looking for.
And there you go. Happy June, everyone. Give us a call at the radio station, 888-565-1470. You know what today is? National Say Something Nice Day. Wow.
I got something nice. I'm not going to pick my nose.
You've been actually pretty nice today.
Wow.
That's-
You know why I'm nice?
Why?
Because I'm excited.
Tell me why.
Because our Instagram numbers, our social media numbers, everything is up, up, up. You see,
Amazing.
this is a great finger because it only goes in one direction.
Only goes up.
And there is one of the main reasons that is happening, that lady standing right there.
She is doing amazing. We've got our new summer crew, and if you've missed it on social media, check back in on our social media accounts because you get to meet our summer crew all over IG and Facebook.
And we got 10 sitting in the house.
We've got the Taylor Tent. We've got Janelle Shimshi joining us. We've got Rose Lambert joining us. She is starting her new show today. All I can tell you, everyone, buckle up your electronics because we've got Janelle and Rose are going to be in the same place at the same time within our studio. So
I checked the weather too, so if anything happens, it's not the weather. Weather's coming in the weekend. Talking to your microphone.
There's orange and blue cups up there, and my attire fits perfectly.
of course,
Your coffee cups.
matches our coffee cups up there.
Did you do that on purpose?
Things just happen.
It also matches the exact flowers next to you on the elephant,
Yes.
right?
Did you know she was going to get dressed up like
How
that?
would I know?
I don't know, because you know a lot of things, and you don't tell me nothing.
I don't know a lot of things, but I do know Jordana Foster had a great show last night on WNN Radio.
And
so,
we taped a little extra, so that's on there as well, too. Fantastic. Good delivery.
but she had so much great content that she continued to record with us last night, probably another good 15, 20 minutes of content, so you can check that out on the Ready, Set, Go Beyond page. So a lot of good things. The Mystic Spiritual Alchemist Show is starting today live at 2 o'clock.
A la tus.
What do you think of when you hear alchemist?
It sounds to me like a pharmacist. Somebody that puts a potion together that makes the world go round. You know?
Really?
Yeah, because I feel spirited again. I feel that maybe we're making headway towards something bigger, better, and more beautiful.
I think we are 100, we can only hope.
That's because she showed, you changed my whole perception. They'll tell you.
I don't know what you did to him on Friday, Janelle, but wow, he was on a whole nother level. Freddie's son was in, Gio, who lives on the other side of Florida. And he came in and he was going to help us put studios back together on Friday, clean some boards up, do all the little tech things.
Didn't happen.
He didn't leave that room. He does not know how we do what we do on a Friday. He thought that was controlled chaos. That was no control. That was just
Well, we
chaos.
had the blackout.
Yes, we had a blackout on Friday. A few, I think.
We had a double blackout, and I went to the movie theater on Sunday. Big movie theater, full house to see Top Gun.
Maybe she was there.
Were you in the movie theater Sunday? Blackout. For an hour and 45 minutes I sat there.
It might be you all this time.
Not me, because I've been doing this 15 years. I never had a blackout. That's not true. I had one blackout. I had a person from, she was also a spiritual person from Texas. And she was one of the top 10 in the world. And she called in on the Freddie Fix It show. And when she called in, the whole studio went blank. So we had to reboot everything. And then she called in again. And she says, your son is about to call you. And my son calls me on my phone. I said, why are you calling me? You know I'm on the air. He goes, I forgot. I didn't know. I don't know why I called you. I said, really? So I said to her, you're going to have to cut that out. Magical stuff happens. #1 show. You and your husband's show on Friday was number
That
one.
was amazing. The magic he did and your tent. I can't wait to see you set this up. The Taylor tents are unbelievable. I'm looking around my backyard thinking, do I have 20 by 20? We don't even have 20 by 20 in here.
You put in the front yard.
My
It
backyard.
goes into the street.
You know what would be so much fun is to have one of your tents set up and to bring the TMI food truck into your neighborhood. And then you can have this whole sort of neighborhood block party. And you have the food and you have the tent. The kids would love it, right? The kids come in one place and they're all safe and everything. That would be a whole lot of fun for a birthday party or a neighborhood party.
Crazy Uncle Mike would let me use his parking lot.
I wonder if, can you go into a parking lot?
It takes a little bit more.
Use your mic.
More sand.
it takes a little bit more preparation. You obviously need something to stake the ropes into for the stability, but there are ways, obviously, to do that.
What if I brought in the #1 DJ in Florida
Slick, you coming?
and we put together something with the tent, some kind of Taj Mahal type of deal, you know what I'm saying?
I
Put
would
a little
love
kiddie
to
pool
do
on the
that.
side, some food truck on the side, keeping it small. But that is very doable because of the new owners of WWNN. Very doable. #1 DJ in Florida.
Do it in the parking lot
Congratulations,
as
that
a
sounds
whole
amazing.
We have
grand
to figure out a way to
opening
do
of,
it.
the DJ.
We need something
Oh,
big because a lot of people are going to show up. And then you can do your magic.
What else you got cooking for this week? New things, new ideas.
I changed the studio at WNN. And
I saw that.
I need some muscles today to move that heavy TV.
Yeah, I saw you guys moving some stuff around last night. It was kind of an interesting situation, is all I can
You know,
say.
I never stand still because I believe that if you stand still and you're happy and you're satisfied, you're not going to grow.
Do you think people actually ever are satisfied with where they are in life?
Not successful people.
You always want more?
I think so. Maybe it's not even monetary, but just
Spiritual.
spiritually, I think you need to be doing something at all times. That's what's fulfilling to you. What are you going to do whenever you have all the money in the world after that? You know, you can't just sit on your laurels. Look at Steve Wynn. He doesn't stop no matter what. He can't see.
You keep going.
Yep. But
What about when you hide your mystic notion because somebody else is doing the stage and you're being very supportive and you're being a mom and everything else? What happens when you write that second novel and then it's your turn?
so, interestingly enough, I am about 3/4 of the way through on a book of my life. So I think that that's one way for me to get out my story because regardless if I've been backstage behind the scenes, I still have had a pretty amazing life, very colorful. So
Tell
I
us
think
about
there's a
your
lot to
book
tell.
and your story.
Well, the book is not ready, and I've already vowed not to publish it until my daughter is maybe 25 years old. There's a lot to tell. But yeah, look, everybody has a story, right? But coming from a very small town in Texas, 18, going to work for a congressman, moving to Washington, D.C. when I was 21, staying there, and then continuing to travel, move back down to Florida, bartending, living a wild, crazy life. Moving to LA because that was always a childhood dream. Whenever I was like 13, I said, the only thing I want to do in my life is move to LA and live on the beach and drive a Volkswagen Beetle. So I did that. And then I ended up in Las Vegas, and then that was the other story with the magician.
You have siblings?
I have 3 siblings. One passed away 7 years ago, the oldest sister.
What was it like for your parents when you decided to leave this small town in Texas?
My mother had a really hard time with it because I was the baby of the 4. Mother and father divorced, so he wasn't in the picture. But I think what made it all better is she knew what kind of opportunity that I had going to Washington, D.C. and working for Congressman Charlie Wilson.
How did you get that opportunity? 18 years old?
18, my first job I ever had. I ended up coming across, it was through the government, through the local government, but they had internships where you could go in and kind of like on-the-job training. And the congressman's office, as you well know, has a federal budget, and it's not a lot to run, 2 offices in the district and then in Washington. So that's how they always retained their receptionist, were through this internship. And I just got lucky. I went in as a receptionist, ended up as the office manager there as things progressed. And then about a year and a half later, not even, probably a year later, he asked me to come to Washington. So It was progression, but very fast.
Then you flew all over the world because he was under defense contract.
Yes, and intelligence. But he had his hand in a lot of different things, so that really did afford me a privilege of being next to him. And it's just unbelievable the experiences that I had while in Washington.
Now, at what age did you get married?
Were you in your 20s?
In your 20s?
No.
Your 30s?
Yes.
Okay. It's interesting that you
37 or 36 or 37.
Okay, so you got married later in life, and you were living that wild life, and then you went and you worked with the government to sort of calm everything down. When you traveled all over the world, which was the most remembered experience you had all over the world?
Going to Israel and going back to that, connection or the sixth sense or whatever that is. I went to Israel with a congressman. He had a very close relationship with Netanyahu. And I will never forget this. It was such a monumental, it was one of those pinch me moments. But they stopped the plane on the tarmac, and he and I stepped out of the plane with a bulletproof car, like closed curtains in the car, and just pulled us off and whisked us away.
Wow.
And I was like, what?
A little scary, isn't
What
it?
just happened?
So it was just the two of you guys traveling together?
Just the two of us traveling together.
But the whole opportunity that you had, that you started as a receptionist, right? 18 years old, I guess, out of high school.
Never went to college.
And the opportunities that you were given, with hard work, of course. Did you ever wonder how this all came to be, or ever have that imposter syndrome of why me? This girl from small town Texas is now in this amazing limo, and we're going to go meet with Netanyahu. And how did this happen?
I think, why not me? I've always felt that I was special, maybe more than I am, I don't know. But I really do believe that in life we all have a journey. And no matter if you veer off that path, or I think you'll always come back to the road and to your destiny. So I'm waiting for the next chapter. I really am, because thus far it's been amazing, and I can't wait, to see where my life takes me.
I kind of just lost track of the past 20 minutes talking to her, and just
It's-
realized that we should probably do.
First part is the learning experience, and then now it becomes the teaching experience. So now you're going to teach that what you have learned. And then when you get to the third chapter, you put those two pieces together and you come to the realization that your life is formulated in a certain way. When you get older, you'll understand why you were younger. See, they don't understand that language. She's getting there. She's not there yet either. But when you get older, you begin to understand why you were younger, and it begins to make more sense. What I like about your story is that it has breaking points. You met your husband late. And he was doing his thing. He became popular, so all of a sudden it became another learning moment for you. And now that he is doing his thing, I see that he allows for you to expand and teach and become a different mentor, businesswoman, which is phenomenal. Now, we had somebody for you to meet today. She was called back to Orlando because her father, he passed away, and he left a mess for her. So she had to run back up there. But it would have been interesting to see the two of them.
We'll do
in
it
the
another
same
day.
building. And maybe Rosie shows up.
Hopefully next weekend, Rose should be here. Oh,
Many roads over there. You got a lot of different roads going on at the same time, which is really,
Share,
no,
elaborate.
no, I'm not. That's not my story to tell, it's hers.
After that, after you worked with Charlie Wilson, you went where? How many years were you with him?
5 years. So I was believe it or not, I was very unfulfilled in Washington. I went there very wet behind the ears thinking I'm really going to make changes. And then you step into the government and you realize everything is orchestrated, basically. You know, it doesn't just come by, you know, you really have to move mountains to get things happening. And I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to be a lobbyist. I don't want the Hill to be a career for me. My heart, my emotions played a big part in it. And I knew that I needed to see the world. I am a self-proclaimed gypsy. Like, I feel like I am best when I'm moving around. So Florida was a destination that was open for me. I knew some people down here and just came, did it. I didn't really know anyone except for I was also bartending at night. Congressman's office, when I started in DC, I was getting paid $12,000 a year.
Wow.
Very difficult to live off of in the city. But I had 4 roommates, so I was bartending at night to kind of supplement the income. And the place that I was working for in Baltimore, they had a place in Fort Lauderdale. So I was able to kind of have that as my stepping stone to come down here.
Like
by
Coyote
myself.
Ugly.
I'm sorry?
I watched Coyote Ugly over the weekend. See her bartending just like that, 4 roommates, like why not? Having so much fun.
Well, I'm going to tell you, she got lucky. Charlie wouldn't pay for me. He gave me credits. He gave me 4 NYU credits to intern for him.
But look at the experience that you both got.
Yeah, and when you're in Washington, see, I didn't want to shake up the world. Charlie didn't speak Spanish, and he's in the Heights. And I said to him, well, why are you up here? Because he was on 126th Street in Harlem. Freddie wasn't going down there. So he got an office up in the Heights. So he said to me, I got you all this. It was a small office. I got you all this. I ain't got to pay you too. And there was magical stuff that these are powerful, powerful people in the government. The government didn't run unless Charlie Rangel signed the check. That's how powerful this guy was. He got dumb as time went along, but my goodness gracious. And in those days, you needed to know the right people, not just know people, to make things happen.
Do you think it's still the same way?
Oh, it's worse now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even worse. But you got to go, you see, I got gypped because you got to go all over the world.
That's amazing.
Freddie didn't get to go all over the world. Freddie had to stay home because he was the only Spanish-speaking guy, and he took this other guy with him all over the world. And I used to call him, Charlie, we got a problem here. The Latino community is at the door. Well, fix it.
Don't you want to find out more about her story?
We will. We have to take a break.
Take a commercial break. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And then why you wanted to write a book and that you're writing a book. And everyone has a story, but not everyone
Keep wanting
shares it.
more. You know what I'm saying?
says
Keep on
yes.
wanting more.
All right, give us a call, 888-565-1470. It is National Say Something Nice Day. And today we kick off Pride Month as well. So our kids are working on all of our graphics for June as well. Stay tuned, quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Are you ready to relax and unwind? Come visit the Spa Facial on Ocean Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale Beach. We offer facial therapy, body treatments, waxing, men's spa treatments, and so much more. Our spa services are a great way to take a step back from the bustle of everyday life. Come take a break with us. We guarantee our all-natural products will bring you to pure tranquility. Call us today at 954-213-5034 or visit our website, thespafacial.info.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
Cool, calm, collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit gubbarum.com to find the nearest location to buy or enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Nice.
Welcome back.
There's a locket in your pocket.
There's a locket in my pocket. This portion of the show is brought to you by
Our merch store. Brooklyn Cafe Show merch. Check out our QR code, scan it, and take you directly to our website. You can get a Brooklyn Cafe Show shirt. You can get some merch. We've got our water bottles. We've got coffee. We even have our little bells and wands. We should give one over to Janelle as well.
We shall. We got a lot of stuff.
So when you empty your pockets out at night,
I don't empty my pockets out at night.
you leave them full?
Of course.
And then you just transfer them in the morning?
And I just move it around.
I always wonder how guys, they do that, right? Everything goes in their pockets. It's like walking around. I can't imagine everything from my purse going in my pockets.
Okay, I'm going to give you a real fast trivia question.
Yeah.
What is it that every guy always has in his wallet? Never uses it,
Not a
but
condom.
always says, I use it all the time.
Not a condom, I
A
hope.
condom.
You can't use it all the time.
They never use it. Sometimes you get it out there and it's dust.
That's such a John Travolta thing. That's not even a real thing.
What,
is
a
it?
condom?
Yeah. No, a condom I know is, but you really keep them in your pocket?
You keep it in your wallet. Ask Slick if he has one. Slick, you got a condom in your wallet? Liar, liar. And then they'll say, look, I'm the man. That condom make you a man. I'm a man. It's like smoking cigarettes in the day.
Don't they like wear, it doesn't like wear a hole if you don't
He
get
knows
it?
what I'm talking about. Come on, let me see your wallet.
He's
You don't
got
got a
cards. He's got
card.
business cards. He's back. He was just spent 5 days in LA. Want to grab a mic?
No, he doesn't grab him. He talks into the air so we can't hear him.
Gonna come to me, to be honest. Yes, hello, how you doing, guys?
Welcome back.
You know,
The heat loss.
I know, I didn't want to
That's 'cause
come
you
back.
didn't shave that.
Why? I'm gonna
If you
shave it.
shaved it, they would have won.
I'm gonna shave it.
You look so happy in all of your stories all over social media.
I try to be like, I think it was probably like that LA weather, like the LA vibration. It was good out there.
What'd you do?
You like the vibe, right?
Yes.
Vibration sort of makes you raise.
No, I'm not on camera. It's
Nah,
okay. It's okay.
Nah, he's like the voice. He thinks he's like
Yeah.
the gypsy. Ooh, did I say that out loud?
No, but it was nice. It was nice to be out there. A1. It was nice to be out there.
You like being out.
You went with your niece, your brother, all your brothers,
Yeah,
right?
my niece had fun because it was her birthday weekend, and my brother, what is it? My brothers have fun, but they don't like to take pictures. And my nephew, he just loved it from, I'll say, from takeoff to landing. He loved every moment.
Did he keep his clothes on?
He
his
tried
nephew.
to,
I
not
know.
at the water park though.
I
Like,
pick
we
up
went
his
to a
nephew's
water
clothes
park.
and use them in the movie theaters. I pick them up.
We went to a water park.
Now, you know, you ever have a sandwich that you love? It doesn't matter what you put in it, but there's ingredients in the sandwich, right? So the bread is one vibration, and what you put in there, in the middle of it, is the other vibration. That's what Slick brings to the table.
Vibration.
Somebody's like over there too. The vibration changes when you add the ingredient, like the alchemist,
Like mayonnaise in the fridge?
like mayonnaise in the fridge. Everything goes good on with mayonnaise because mayonnaise has a very high frequency.
You know, Friday, someone brought in bagels. I forgot.
she's laughing.
Vinny brings in a bag of bagels, but no cream cheese. So everyone goes looking for breakfast.
I smacked them.
And they're looking for something in the fridge, as if this is your house in your
It
refrigerator.
is the Brooklyn
And they
Cafe.
open up the fridge, and what's there? How do we not have cream cheese? Why would we have cream cheese? How do we not have butter?
Robert, yes, we are the Brooklyn Cafe, and I'll make you a ham sandwich.
But
People think
apparently,
make
we
food.
had a container of what? Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise.
I had mayonnaise and jelly. So your
I put
son
it in mayonnaise
says,
and jelly.
I need cream cheese with my jelly. I said, well, you go get some. Well, how can we not have cream cheese in the fridge?
How can you
People
not?
forget that this is a place of business, but yet we feel like it's our house because we live here.
Yeah, but everybody comes to have fun.
I know, we're going to have some fun. Steve
we
Gubb,
have-
I think, is coming in today.
Do we have cream cheese?
No, we do not have cream cheese.
Do we have those bagels left over from Friday like rocks? Hockey pucks.
No, I took them home to Aaron.
You ate them?
They ate some of them. I had a full house Friday night for the Heat game.
How many bagels did you take?
I think there were 6.
You know, you and I have to have a little
I
conversation.
offered them to everyone and no one took them.
Not to me.
Yes, I did. And you said you
No.
cannot have carbs.
I said that? I lied.
Anyway, I guess Slick is done with his story because he got up and
Yeah,
left.
he gets up and leaves. He's like the other gypsy.
He had to update another gypsy.
I haven't been updating my story since.
I gotta tell you, you remind me of a gypsy as well.
Really?
The house is
How?
full of gypsies today.
How?
Because everywhere you go is a party.
It's a party?
A party.
A porn? A what?
Not a porn, a
pu-
party. What
a
is
party.
wrong with
I'm,
you?
I'm hearing porn, party. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're
right
hanging
now.
out with Freddie too long, huh?
I didn't say porn. I said party.
Okay,
Everywhere you
okay.
go
Really?
is a porn.
I mean, it was kind of like a. I didn't think of it as a party. Like I just had time for myself, like getting up to do nothing. I say that's a good vacation. So, to be honest.
It's a good vacation. Have some time to
Yeah,
yourself.
I got some good R&R.
You know what our vacation was?
Mm-hmm.
You and I were both sick for a week. That was our vacation.
You asked for it, you got it. That's why you got to be very careful what
You
you
have
ask
to be
for.
very specific what you ask for from the universe.
But
'cause
he had a boy. He wasn't alone. He had his niece, his nephew, his brother. He had a whole family
Yes.
affair.
See any famous people?
Besides the stars, like on Hollywood.
Who'd you see? Who's that lady in the skateboard with the string bikini you showed me?
She didn't have a string bikini, but she was skateboarding on.
Who was she?
She was just a skateboard, just a
You were
regular.
creeping
She was
all
a
his
local.
stories?
She
No,
was
he
just a
shows
local.
me this and says he was talking to her. He wasn't
I
talking
was
to her.
talking to her.
He
She was
takes-
on Venice Beach.
he
She was
takes
the
photo
only
of
girl
people
there.
and then imagines,
she
oh, I
did
should be
better
talking
than
to
all the guys who were skateboarding that day. Because she was the only
All the
girl
guys,
there.
all I saw was
all the
one
guys
chick.
were trying to do tricks
One
and try to,
girl.
and then she just came out of nowhere. She shocked everybody. She like shut the place down. And
Is
I'm
there
like,
a
wow.
skateboard park in Florida, in Boca? Can you go
Probably.
skateboarding in Boca?
I don't
There
know.
is, and there's one out in Coral Springs too. But this one, it's right off of Palmetto.
And you
But-
could, it has like the loops and all that? Really? You're a skateboarder too?
No, I am not.
How
I
do you
used to
know
be a
about it?
rollerblader.
So how do you know about it?
She's a rollerblader.
Oh,
I have a 16-year-old daughter, and my husband skateboards.
You're kidding,
So-
really?
Yeah,
The magician? Whoop.
he can do anything. It's ridiculous.
That active family lifestyle.
I gotta tell you, is it easy for you? I guess you saw those tricks before, so it didn't impress you because you were like, yeah, he does that before.
No, it's not like that because I mean, after I've seen it a few times, but here's the thing. I know what to look for. And sometimes most of the time, I'm just like, damn it, what? How? No.
His hands are that fast?
Or
His
it's
hands are very
magic.
fast.
How he made the cards jump
How did he do the shadow?
and it
the
ended up
two-
in your pocket?
How did he do the two shadows? That was
That
kind of
was
scary.
actually, I've not seen that before. Just so you know, I've never seen that
I
before.
tried to duplicate it. I sat there, I put 100 lights on me to try to duplicate. I couldn't do that.
And he goes by Shimshi, because I said to you, what's his name? And you said, he is just Shimshi.
Now, have you ever been in his acts?
No.
I was going to ask you why.
In the very beginning, he wanted to have me on stage and do when he was doing the illusions, but I am not that person. I am a little bit of an extrovert, I guess. Introvert.
You?
I know.
Introvert with your
yes,
life
yes.
from before? Really?
Yeah, but she's never out in the front in the spotlight. She has her life that she does.
Yeah, but she's
behind the
writing
scenes.
books. She has a business. That rocket ship is going to the moon. Can't do that from the back of the plane.
But she's
Yeah.
here again, so
Here
right?
you
Isn't
are.
that what counts?
It seems like that introvert is beginning to become an extrovert.
It's so much of what we get to do here all the
It's
time.
like we told Texas over here that she's going to be doing her own show. The producers have to have their own show as part of the program. So she says to me, "Oh, I thought you forgot about that."
It's like the internship you did with Charlie Rangel. Look how much you learned.
How much I learned? Charlie was a hustler.
Yeah, but you learned. I can't say
I
that
learned.
you learned.
I learned how to put on, he taught me how to tie a knot. I learned how to do a knot. Wisdom knot, Winkler knot.
You learned.
I have a feeling you learned a lot more than that.
Correct.
Charlie, I'm gonna tell you, there were times, Charlie used to know the gang called the Bloods. And they were in Harlem, 126th Street. And the first day, my first interview day, I went down there in a suit, and he made a phone call, and there was like these guys, scary dudes came in, 3 of them. And he says, "I want you to take this white boy up to 181st Street. Make sure nothing happened to him." Because I rode the train, the A train, to 126th Street in Harlem. I was the only white guy down there, and it was kind of, So I went up there, and then he called me and says, "I'm opening up a new store. Meet me on 181st Street the next day." And everything went on from there. I learned how to talk to business people. I learned how to write letters. Because, my English is not very sexy.
You say that, but let's talk to the illusion, because I've seen some of the things you write, and I
The
say to
illusion.
you, who wrote that?
I'm going to tell you. Can you believe that? Who wrote this?
He has an
I did.
illusion that he doesn't write and he doesn't know English, but yet he'll send me an email and I'm thinking, who wrote this? And I know you did it. So this is all an illusion of,
Mary Spirit.
of the
Mary
outside.
Spirit wrote it.
Lord Federico Santori is
Oh,
all I
that's
can
the
tell
new,
you.
yes, the new business cards
Our
coming
new
out.
business cards coming out. You had them laughing.
But it's true. It's right there.
All right, so after Florida, you bartended. You did a whole Coyote Ugly type of thing in Fort Lauderdale.
Baja Beach Club, pretty much.
Where?
Baja Beach Club.
Oh, yeah, that was totally that.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I grew up in Fort Lauderdale.
You went to that bar. Do you remember her serving you drinks?
She was probably, I don't know, as old as I was when I went into the clubs.
So tell me, how do you know her?
I don't know her.
You
I just know
remember
the Baja
her?
Beach Club, right?
She was serving drinks.
Maybe she was. Maybe she was. And then after that, you went to Vegas?
I spent about 5 years here. No, I went to Los Angeles after that.
Okay.
That had always, like I said, been my childhood dream. So I was very unsettled after those 5 years, unfulfilled. I had fun, did a lot of partying, enjoyed everything, but I found myself my heart was in LA. So I just struck out and headed to Los Angeles.
Wait a minute. So you went to LA, what'd you do?
Well, I wanted to be a model and actress, but the first agent's office that I ended up in, there was a couch on the wall, and he blatantly told me, "Get on the couch and I'll give you anything you want."
Wow.
And I stood up and told him,
No.
I'm walking straight out.
and walk straight out. And I never, ever looked back at that moment, and I never, ever had another desire to be involved in any of
He
that.
killed your dream.
It,
Wow.
yes, but I just say that wasn't meant to be, you know?
That one guy wasn't the whole
But you know what's so
enchilada?
interesting is what you did for our generation, because you and I are probably close to the same age. We didn't do that then. We didn't do like their generation does, where you take a job, you move away, you stay, you're unfulfilled, you find something else. That wasn't what we did back in the 80s. It was so different. So it had to be that gypsy lifestyle. Your mom and your grandma must have been, what are you doing? This is not
Yeah,
what
but you just pointed
girls
something
do
out.
in a small
But
town
you
from
pointed
Texas.
something out. Gypsy lifestyle has a certain frequency to it. So this guy's reading all the frequency and he's getting signals that, oh, maybe this is meant to be in this different direction. But she was there to
Yeah, but that was
fulfill.
LA back in what, the 90s?
That was in, just turned 99, so
It was a little wild in the day.
It was.
If you
think
look
about all the
if
things
you
that
look
have
on
come out from that.
on HBO, The Doctor That Bought the Lakers, if you see that story, everybody involved in that story is screaming. That didn't happen. That's a lie. They're all retracting now. Well, maybe it happened. Well, and I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of drugs. There was a lot of... You think New York is a crazy town? L.A. has it
Well,
way
look what is
topped.
all coming out now, and all of the Me
Way
Too and
topped.
everything from all those years ago.
Well, the bottom line is, I'm just surprised you got caught up in that whole thing.
She didn't. She
And
walked
she
out.
went, boop. Now, what happened? You left L.A.?
I stayed there for another 4 years. Here's another interesting, kind of weird thing that happened. But I moved into Laguna Beach first. That's where I went, Orange County. And then something pulled me over to the valley, San Fernando Valley. So I was living in Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks area. Shimshi and I literally lived 1, maybe 2 miles away from each other at that time for a few years, and our paths never crossed. I never knew him until I left LA. He had just left LA too, and 2 months into being in Las Vegas. Okay, so here was the plan going to Las Vegas. I was gonna work in the clubs, and I was gonna stack all the cash that I could, and Florida was my end destination. I loved the weather. I obviously loved the beach. So I said, I'll go back, buy a house, and just lay on the beach for, as long as I can. So that was my whole idea to get to Las Vegas, because I knew being there and partying there, I knew I could make a lot of money. So
Did you ever gamble when you were there, or was it strictly business?
strictly
So
business.
she has a very strong, when she says she's going to do something, that's the way it's going to go. She doesn't divert. Interesting.
Yeah. Shimshi
And-
did get me into playing Texas Hold'em after I had
So
been
when
there
you
for
were
a
there
while.
and you were working the circuit, you met him and you got married?
2 weeks after being there, I met him, and we talked about it. Everything happened so fast. We met 2 months later. He moved in. I was pregnant. We got married the following March. I was pregnant in July. It just went so fast. And of course, once you get pregnant, everything changes. You have a whole different mindset.
And then he continued with his career as a magician, and you were there.
I was
And-
there. So he decided, you know what? He saw what I was doing. I started some websites, started a poker t-shirt business. I did all these little I think I'm a serial entrepreneur, really. But I started all these little businesses, and he saw how well I implemented and that I did everything on my own. And he said, you know what? I want you to focus on Shimshi Inc. because I already have this going. He sucks at, writing emails, booking travel. So I stepped in and started to help him, and things went very well. He hit that next level when that happened. So we just basically grew together, and I brought the knowledge from Charlie Wilson's office, the how to build relationships, rapport, you know, all of the things that matter. And he just grew and grew. And not to take anything away from him, because he's been on The Ellen Show, Regis and Kelly, you know, Kris Jenner, he's had, you know, that's a whole other story. But anyway.
Well, he's been successful.
He's been successful. But there was about 2 years ago, I had enough of living that dream. I had been living his dream the whole time for another time, but he and Steve Wynn had something going for his own show at the Wynn. And then all of the allegations came about. So a new president came in that just took the contract off the table. So that at that point, Shimshi was like, I'm done in Las Vegas. And we just saw an opportunity with COVID to kind of pivot. And he started doing all of his shows on Zoom. So he knew I wanted to go back to Florida. And we just said, let's do it. Let's take a chance. And just
So
are you
going to use the circuit here in Florida to do what he was doing in Vegas?
You know, here's the thing. Shimshi is by word of mouth. So that's how he continues to work. When people see him, when they hear about him, they call, you know, at some point, whether it's a month or a year down the road. And there is a lot of events happening here. I don't know if he would be interested to go back into a theater. I know he doesn't want to do Illusions anymore. It's a lot of work and a lot of hassle. And I think the payoff is when you're able to do magic in front of people's eyes, like right there in their hands, and they're close up. So I think he's come to really love that. And mentalism. He's very big in mentalism. Wait till you experience that.
Well, I can see the contact, the connection between you and him. You guys talk to one another without words. It was, I don't know if you caught that. But the amazing thing here is the two of you are looking for something else, to do something that you want to do as opposed to doing something to pay the bills. And he took it to a level that people only dream of. And you got to understand, Darryl Strawberry is a player that I met. And Darryl Strawberry could hit a baseball 450 feet. That's God's gift. And Darryl had a lot of problems in and out of baseball. And I saw him one day and I said to him, man, you know, God gave you the gift. He says, I know. And now he's pushing it forward. So he doesn't play baseball anymore. That's why I love sports, because I can never do what these athletes do. I can't do what your husband does in magic either. I can't even keep up to you in turning off the lights. That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, but what Janelle does and your story is so inspiring will be so inspiring to so many women for our age and our demographic that got married, raised their family, grew their spouses' careers, because that's what we were supposed to do for our generation.
Back to that again.
But she sits here, right? Not just me saying this, here she sits. And you did what you were supposed to do and what you wanted to do, and you have a beautiful daughter and everything that you did for Shimshi's career. And then at some point in time we go, you know what? I have to do me again, because there's more to life than this. And she's everything that we talk about. So I hope you don't hold that book for the next 7 years, because I want to read it.
You should be writing your third book by this time.
So many lives you're going to inspire, and so many women that are going to say, you know what? I get it.
Yeah, well, there's so much more to the story, and I just couldn't possibly put that all out there until my daughter is old enough to understand.
Yeah, but put the first book.
Yeah, no.
Then put the second.
The first book is why they'll read the second book. I promise.
That's right, and then there'll be a third book, and there may even be a movie put to those books.
Oh, yeah.
See, the problem is,
she says yes.
You were given a gift, and your gift is still unwrapped. And what happens here is the more tighter you wrap this gift up, the more it's going to eat at you. And your daughter, as much as you think won't understand, she will always look at mom, no matter what you write. Always be mom. So never be afraid to succeed. Because the moment you do that, the dream will die. Remember that couch and that guy said that stupid thing and it killed that dream? You don't want to live that again. Just be you. Change the names so you can protect the innocent.
I've actually thought about that,
Yeah.
but then
Do
when
that.
it's an autobiography, how do you change
You don't
the
need
name?
to call it that. We can change. You know what's great about life? You can do anything you want. And like that. And
Where
she's
did that
starting
even
again.
come
What did I
from?
tell you? That's her.
Slick, where'd that even come from? No one's even over there, is all I
That's
can
the
tell
echo.
you.
Magic is magic. I had people touching people's hairs yesterday in the studio.
Yeah, we had people who said their hair was being pulled in that studio and there was nobody there. Look at her face. There were crystals moving across tables in
You've
another
been
studio
through that
today.
many, many times. Don't
Yeah,
even
and
go
she
there.
wasn't even here. At least not physically.
She's been through
Anyway,
that so many, many times.
there's a lot.
It's fun being a gypsy because you see life in a whole different perspective, and people just catching up. I love it. You know, they are very chattery today.
Uh-oh.
Just I gotta tell you that.
I buckle up, everybody. If they're chattery, look, she's going to go hiding now.
She knows. She knows more than she let time.
I know. All right, I guess we got to get ready to wrap up our
We gotta
hour
get it
here.
wrapped. Yeah, it's gonna go to the next hour.
So, yeah, may as well, let's
Oh, we gotta go to the next hour.
see. We got to
'cause
go to the next hour
Talk
because
about the chatterbox. Talk about the flight from
the
Boston.
man, the myth, and the legend is in the house.
I just want you to know, the Boston Celtics beat the Heat. I won a lot of money. I'm letting it ride on Boston again. Warriors in Boston. I think Boston comes out on top.
Yes, that would be the voice of Steve Gubb in the house,
Gubba rum in the house.
all the way from Boston. You got nothing? No rum either?
Put some Gubba in it.
We have some Gubba there. All right, we're going to switch over to our video streaming platform. And for those of you that are looking for us on Roku and Amazon, you can find us on the channel, The Brooklyn Cafe TV, and all over social media. Thank you to WWNN.
You do realize that peeling the onion is one way to do it. You can peel anything.
Yes.
Shrimp. You can peel fish. Anything you want to peel.
Ever peel a grape?
Absolutely. Skin on the grape.
Skin on a grape.
Well, that wraps up our brunch hour. But don't go away. Stay tuned for more laughs and cheers on Facebook or YouTube or any other social media platform at the Brooklyn Cafe TV.
Romance in the human spirit.
See you soon.
Rosie makes sure her depiction
The opinions
of women
expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff,
are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyreshevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook or at email at amyreshevsky@gmail.com. That's amyreshevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
WEMP World. WEMP, the Women's Empowerment Token's mission is to support and empower women globally, while providing a platform to educate women in the cryptocurrency market. Every transaction made through WEMP token will support the WEMP charity wallet and women entrepreneurs. WEMP is here to stay. For more information, visit wemp.world. That's WEMP, WEMP.world.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And I guess we're opening on me. Welcome back, everyone, to our 12 o'clock hour on our Wednesday National Say Something Nice Day. Can you say something nice?
Say something nice.
And today seems to be, okay, explain to me the color situation of what we're all wearing today.
Everybody's in orange.
Why is everybody in orange today? Look
I don't
at
know.
Janelle's mouth is like on the floor.
Janelle's in orange.
Steve, you must have missed the memo. He's in pink.
Steve is the memo. Put him on 3, Slick, and give him a mic to talk to. Put him
He's
on
got a
3.
mic next to his iced coffee and coffee cubes. We've got Dr. Lynette's in the house. Did you know Steve was coming?
I heard a rumor.
Uh-oh. She heard
she
a
knew
rumor
he was
Steve
coming.
was here. Even I'm in orange and red. You're never
I
in
got
orange and red.
underwear.
So you know how I keep Pocahontas over here
none of your
behind you
business.
and everyone wonders why she is there?
I'm going to tell you, we have to stop doing that.
Pocahontas seems very interested in Janelle. Do you have family that was of Native American descent, or you do?
Yes. My grandmother was a her great-great-grandmother was an Indian chief's daughter. And her father literally settled Texas in the 1800s. That's when he came in. And back then, really quick, whatever amount of land you could control and section off, that's what you could keep. And he lost his arm fighting all of the rebels, or whatever you want to call them, the bandits back then. So, yeah.
Do you remember your grandmother?
Oh, yeah. She passed away at 99.
Wow.
Her father lived to be 105, I think. So we have good genes, longevity.
Well, she's with you. And Pocahontas is very focused on you at the moment. So we're just going to leave her there because they're having this whole little situation over here. Just let them be. I was explaining to Baxton today when he came in that our studio is really a living being filled with music and filled with love and filled with inspiration. So when he turns light on and music on is because we are giving life back to this theater every morning and thanking her for what she brings.
And then in walks Steve Gupp.
Well, you know, every theater's got to have Steve.
Yeah. Every theater's got to have Steve. Yeah, that's
Every
right.
theater has a Steve.
Great. Yeah.
There's got
Be careful, 'cause
I don't know what else to tell you. I got the Wizard in there. We got Peter Griffin in there. We got a whole lot of things in the other studio.
A whole lot of people, with the moving parts that make everything go round and round and round.
Did you ever see Moulin Rouge? Has anyone ever seen Moulin Rouge?
Yeah, it was horrible.
I loved it.
It's a great movie.
We have a new producer that is just like the guy with the red hair in there. We call him the Wizard, but his name is Baxton. He's
The writer.
just like him. I call him the Wizard because he looks like the
Well,
Wizard from the
everybody
Wizard of
remembers
Oz.
it. I can remember the Wizard.
You can remember the Wizard.
You know, I tried to watch Moulin Rouge, and I think I was about a half hour into the movie when I slit my wrist, because nothing. It was so bizarre, and nothing was going
It's
on.
just, you know what I watched over the weekend? Respect. Anyone see Respect, Aretha Franklin's movie?
Oh no, that must have been wonderful.
That's a long time ago. Yes, I watched.
Well, it came out, I think, a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Jennifer Hudson did a spectacular job. But Aretha's story, as sad as it was of no surprise, thinking about where she grew up as an African-American woman It's just to think that people were treated the way they were treated. Women were treated like that. She was pregnant at 12 years of age. Crazy, right?
Tough movie. I went to see Top Gun.
Yeah, but you didn't get to see it because Janelle was in the back playing with the lights.
Blackout at the movie theater. 20 theaters went out.
Really?
19 came back except the one I'm in. I sat there for an hour and 45 minutes. An hour and 45 minutes. Then the smoke alarms go off, fire alarms. So we had to rush out of the building. So not only did I sit there for an hour and a half, now I got to stand outside in the rain. So I come back inside, lady comes inside, show's over, we can't play it tonight, and gives me 4 tickets. That was my Sunday night. Where were you? You in the movie theater?
She was not there.
I think it might be Freddie. All this time, you keep pointing the finger at me, but I think it might be you. She
Yeah, he
thinks
has
so
that.
too.
Would you have stayed in the movie theater for an hour and a half waiting for the movies?
So I have to find
I
out.
would never wait that
Lynette,
long.
what are you working with Steve on?
It's a secret.
I'm
She
sure
don't
about
even know
that
yet.
too.
It's such a secret, she don't even know yet.
Steve, what do you got going on down here?
I'm sorry?
Huh?
What do you have going on down here?
I
Let me sign
oh.
language it to you.
It's like, well, never mind. I have a lot of work to do. I have clients to visit and some new people to talk to. And I'm looking forward to being a very, very busy guy.
How long will you be here?
I will be here until moon is high in sky.
So that's a month.
How's that?
That's a month.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'll be here till Tuesday night.
Now let me ask the most magical question.
Yes.
Did you pick up a stranger at the airport or a family that's going to take you in until Tuesday?
Yeah, I had there were several people. There was a very nice family in row 9, and they insisted I stay with them tonight.
Do you know, and all kidding aside, that's what he does. He talks to
not what
strange
I
people. They take them home. Oh,
Not
no, you want to
strange
tell us a
people,
story?
new
That is not what I do. That's ridiculous.
You want to tell us a story? How
Which
you told
story?
me you met this person, you're staying at a friend's house, you're staying at another friend's house, you don't know them.
Has he seen Hostel?
That's what he does. When
I fly, I like to meet new people.
And you stay in their house?
And I stay there, yeah, usually for 2 or 3 weeks
I'm
at
not
a
lying.
time
I'm
until
telling
they
you
throw
the
me
truth.
out. Yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those wind-up dolls, and he ends up in your house.
Squatter.
I think I didn't come here 1,200 miles just to be made sport of.
That's sport. I left the coffee.
You left my coffee, I know.
Slick, get Dawn's coffee for me.
What?
Thank you.
So are you planning any outdoor activity?
It's supposed to rain this weekend.
Because we have some bad weather coming in on
I hope you're not
Saturday,
setting a tent
Friday,
up
Saturday,
this
Sunday.
weekend.
No tents. No.
Janelle's in the tent business.
you're in
Janelle's
the
going
tent
to
business.
create the Gubba tent. Haven't you
But
been
not
watching
like
the show?
little tents,
As a
like
matter of-
huge tents, like Bedouin tents out in Israel tents.
Well,
Huge, like Native
the
American
Bedouin tents are really very informal structures more often than
Thank you,
not.
Slick.
What kind of tent?
Bedouin tents on the road, on what's called the road to Jericho in English, Rechov Yericho, as they say in the Holy Land. You see the Bedouin tents, at least you used to, in 1973. You would see all the Bedouin encampments along this road that starts in Jerusalem and goes all the way down to the Dead Sea.
That's the Negev, which is where they continue to migrate till this day. You can come through down the road and you'll just see them continue their whole everything, the animals, the camels. I mean,
Inside the
like,
tent?
they have these amazing tents. Those are like
Wow.
he's talking about.
Now, the most important question. Is there a bottle of Gubba rum in each tent?
In every tent.
There can be.
On the camels.
The camels are drinking it? You should do that. You should make sure that every tent has a bottle of Gubba.
That's, the thing to do, however, is to go to a place and to a demographic, good word, demographic, that is a high consumer of alcoholic beverages. The Bedouins, to my knowledge, they don't drink a whole lot. So,
They
The
don't
amazing
drink
thing
all-
to me, though, is that they still exist, the Bedouins, that their lifestyle is still the way it has always been.
Yeah.
With all the technology and everything we have, the Bedouin, they still stay the way they were.
Yep.
Well, it's the same thing with the guys with the horse and buggies up in
the Amish country.
The Amish. They do the same, except for that one day that Amish people get nuts. They get the Freedom Day.
Ever seen that show? I think it's like on Lifetime where the kids leave. I don't want to be Amish anymore.
No.
Yes, I've seen it.
They have the one day that they can do what they want, right?
Do you think they have the billfolds with the round circle?
Absolutely. She knows stuff.
She's like, no, I don't. Mm-hmm.
The Amish has that. Oh, yes, she does. Wow, they rat you out. Man, wow. Wow.
You're making her embarrassed over there.
Not at all. She did it all by her own self.
Lynette and Steve are thinking, what's going on here that I'm missing out
Kingpin
on?
was very good. That had the Amish community in it, remember? The guy that escaped and was doing the bowling. Woody Harrelson.
Yes.
What have you been up to, Lynette?
I just got back from Orlando, actually. I was brought my son for his 14th birthday with his friend Joe, who flew in from Atlanta. So I had a few days of children complaining that they're too hot and spending way too much money on crappy food.
I have not been to Orlando since pre-pandemic. Not rushing back.
When did you go to Orlando? When did you go to Orlando?
When Chelsea used to live there. Don't you remember?
Oh, yeah. She used to work at the store. That was 7 years ago.
Used to go to Disney all the time. And then the germs just got too much for me.
Now, Doc here has a gadget. Only person on the planet. Freddie took the gadget on a plane to go to Puerto Rico.
We still have a case of your products, by
I
the
was
way.
with Linda. We have to bring that back. So I was with Linda, so I'm spraying it. So it's a mist that gives you this shield that blocks you from all the germs on a plane. You should bathe yourself in this thing. So I'm doing this.
How do you know I don't?
No, not her stuff. Her stuff is magical. So the lady next to me says, what is that? And I explain. That thing left my hand. It ended up at the pilots in the front with the pilots. And he comes back and he says, we finished it because it was finished. He says, this is amazing. How do you get this? And I gave him your card and everything else. He wanted to put it in the planes.
Yeah.
So that the
I have the air
spray.
conditioning units, as you know, so.
Because you had the big box. Remember that big
Yeah,
box?
I have like two of them, two different sizes. One's for 600 square feet and one
You
is
should
for
put it on a
35.
plane.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
All right, Janelle wants to know
the
what
last
you-
2 years were a little
Can
rough.
you
so I took
explain what
some-
Airbiotics is? Because no one seems to know.
Yeah, so Airbiotics is basically a system from Belgium. It's used in 51 countries. And what it is a probiotic that cleanses the air and environment for people. So it puts out a lot of positive bacterial species that are non-pathogenic to us, and to eat the same food as, say, the bad guys and starve them so that the number of the bad guys go down and the number of the good guys go up. So it's very good for preventing like staph infections, strep infections, that kind of stuff. In terms of viral warfare, it does increase immunity and stuff, but as you know, viruses can only be killed by, certain bacteriophages, I guess, which they're looking into now. But this is not the case for this one.
So you just spray it into the air?
Well, I have one that's facial that is used for dermatology, so it prevents acne and that kind of stuff. It clears the sinuses. It's used for asthma and that kind of stuff because it eats dust mites, and that's what it lives on, is that kind of stuff, like dust and you know.
Sounds
mold.
fascinating.
It gets rid of mold. It's excellent product. In America, because of problems with EPA certification, I ran into a little glitch, but you know, it was so close so many times, and I haven't given up on it, but I have taken a break. Yeah.
It should be on every plane. Now tell her what your background is.
Oh, I'm a naturopathic doctor. So I have an undergraduate in biochemistry and psychology, and then I have a doctorate in naturopathic medicine, which is a 4-year program in homeopathy, acupuncture, botanical medicine, orthomolecular medicine, all this stuff. And then I did a fellowship in anti-aging medicine and epigenetics here in America.
Wow, it's pretty impressive, I'll have to say.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
When are you going back home? Aren't you?
I'm going to Newfoundland at the end of this month.
That's what I thought.
So I'm going to go for 6 weeks. I haven't seen my family in a while, and my grandmother just passed away. She was 101, and on the way to the ambulance, she towed her walker behind her and refused to use it. So she's a tough lady, but she had a good life, and I'm glad that she had her mind, and I'm glad that she lived a good quality life. Her whole life was a good quality, except for the last week or so. And how much better can you get than that? Surrounded by loving family, and I would take her life any day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Steve is very quiet over there. What are you contemplating over there?
I'm listening. I'm listening to Lynette.
I can help him distill some alcohol, since
trouble
I'm the
is if-
biochemist.
If I sit way back here, I'm sort of behind this plant, so I feel like I'm in a botanical garden somewhere else, and I'm just joining the show.
I've been playing peekaboo on purpose with him.
I purposely put you guys separate because if I sit her next to you, you're going to be yapping.
No. It's
Oh,
not true.
yes.
No.
Oh, yes.
No. I am respectful,
Slick told me.
awestruck, and well behaved.
No. You respectful during commercial break, but after that, it just goes on and on.
Well, no. There's a time and a place. Don't forget, Freddie, in life, timing is everything.
Doc, you got to be
That's
around
true.
more often because
That's how he gets all those free places.
This is not a side we see, right, Slick? This is not
Why
a
do you
side.
think it's Lynette? Maybe this one's Guardians is doing something to that one.
I know Steve. I know where he's going. I get it. No,
Really?
he doesn't know her yet.
He doesn't have
He's
to.
going to be double-headed today, but I know Steve. He's sizing up Lynette. He's saying, okay, I'm going to... Look at his face. Look at his face.
I don't think
Look at that
so.
grin. Oh, man, are you kidding? I know
All
this
he's
man
thinking-
like we grew up together.
How much can she sell? How much can she sell?
What can she bring to the table?
Freddie, just think, if we really had grown up together, I think this is just about the time in our lives when they'd be letting the two of us out of Sing Sing in New York. What do you
Absolutely.
think?
But what a
We'd
what
be
a
getting
place.
out.
What a party place that was.
It's a good time for all. Yeah.
Go to school for 3 years, right?
Great. Boston prison. It's great.
Never did a day in jail, ladies and gentlemen. Don't believe that.
Let's take a commercial break.
Oh, Dawn is. Wait a minute. Dawn gets very nervous when you talk about certain things. Let's take a
Because
commercial
that's the other side of you. That's the illusion side of you. That's not the man that writes these emails.
I gave Janelle a bell, 2 bells, one for her and her husband, and I said put it on your rear view mirror. So anytime you ever find yourself looking backwards on life, you ring that bell because you only go in one direction.
And she said
that
she doesn't look backwards?
That was a long time ago. No, she knows what I'm talking about. Let me tell you, she knows. We're right here.
I know
One
that.
eye Popeye.
I see that. Whole lot going on behind you, by the way.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Oh, no, they're staying right where they need to stay.
You're really something else.
I do nothing. 888-994-4995, Studio A, more to come. I think we need to get some Gubba out.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you like rum at all? I know Lynette's waiting. Janelle, do you drink at all? All right, Slick, let's
Is
give
this
a
an
little,
occasion?
let's do some samples. Today's an occasion. Steve's in the house.
Steve, you want a little Gubba Gubba?
Everyone's
You
wearing
purple?
orange today, so it's an occasion. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Breathing through my troubles, trying to be smart, living with another, passion in my heart, partners come and go, always with a twirl.
Providing music you will enjoy. JM Production performers will brighten up your stage. Condominiums and residential communities, nightclubs and restaurants that want to provide top quality singers and entertainers for their social events, banquets, celebrations, and their customers use JM Productions to ensure that they have an uplifting and beautiful event. Now, tune in for the show.
Dancing for my life.
Hey everyone, I'm Lady Ashley, and this is my husband, Big John.
The muscle behind the hustle.
We are the creators of this very unique party planning business, Lady Ashley Party Planning. We are known for all the details. We specialize in gorgeous balloon decor, floral displays, and handle all of your party planning needs from A to Z.
Please feel free to visit our website at ladyashleypartyplanning.com. Our email is abpartyplanning@yahoo.com, and our phone number is 561-542-2296.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
It almost feels like it's a Friday here in the cafe. Freddie is bartending because Steve is in. Steve is in town, so we're going to change our backdrop from sipping tea to having some gubba rum. The art you see on set today, this is Out of This World, is on a piece of wood, and this is by Chelsea Blake. And this beautiful piece of acceptance and coming together is done by Rosie Sherman. So more to come as they get everything rocking and rolling. We've got Dr. Lynette in studio. We've got Janelle Shimshi in studio. Steve Gubb is tasting gubba rum. How do you like it, Steve?
Yeah, I like this.
It's wicked smooth, right?
I want his autograph.
I really like this. I'm interested in this product.
You like that? Do you have a favorite, the vanilla or the coconut?
No, I actually really do like them both.
You like them both?
Yeah, I like them both. They're really good.
Thank you.
They're both really good, straight. I love, and you know why I really like them? It's the only time a woman has ever looked at me with those big eyes is when she has my rum. That's it.
Our producers say, tell him to sit.
Yeah.
Well, maybe have somewhere else to stay now.
You're so bossy in that other room.
She's so good to see.
We haven't seen Alana since Thursday, so she is raring to go.
She's doing fabulous. I see her Facebook postings, and she's having all sorts of success, and that's just fantastic.
She's got her competition on the 25th, I believe it is. So
that's going to be great.
We've got a couple more weeks, and then she's going to take a little bit of time off to do what she's got to do.
I think we're going to have to proclaim her the leader in the clubhouse today, because she's doing a great job.
We got to meet our new crew, because our new crew is
I met the crew. I met the crew. A very nice bunch. They told me that they're now up to $40 an hour, which I think is wonderful, and plus time and a half on Sundays. And
well, their union manager over here.
Union manager, it's
he
great.
Starts every semester off and says, "And what are you worth?" Am I right? True. Every semester we start here, he tells our new crew, "And what are you worth an hour?" And their value has gone up.
Dylan told me $1.19. That's hired.
When we first started our first group of interns, he had one of them walk in a box because he would trip over everything more than you and I do. So Freddie would have him do this box step in his mind of walking around. True?
There happens to be a sports deal, and he knows about it. You run in a box so that you can go sideways, back, and forward, and you do this, and you develop muscle memory. Because he kept tripping and
Except
breaking
he did
wires.
not develop that muscle memory.
He didn't have a muscle. He was muscleless. I don't know what to tell you. But it works for if you have balance problems and you do this, and then you make the box bigger, and then it's all But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. All right.
What
so
are we
tell
drinking,
me-
by the way?
Hold
Gubba.
on. You have 2 shots of Gubba, one white, one dark. I want you to tell me what you think the flavors are.
Wait, we got to get the camera on them.
Get camera 2 up.
They're going to give us a shot. We've got the Gubba Gold and the Gubba Silver.
I have a thought on the white one. Silver.
Yes, the coconut.
Let me get camera 2, please. Thank you.
There you go. Which one did you try?
Which one did you try?
Silver.
How do you like it?
How you like it?
Delicious.
What's it taste like?
It tastes like coconut and almost like a little bit of vanilla undertone.
Okay.
I got a cherry undertone.
Cherry.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
I did.
That's the first time I've ever
Yeah,
had
that
it.
might
Bartender.
be. That might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also like almost
Wow.
like a bit of butterscotch or something maybe.
Steve says there
On
might
the
be.
nose.
Am I
A
right?
cherry
Yeah,
undertone.
I get a butterscotch.
Yeah,
As they
butterscotch.
say in the tasting game, notes of butterscotch.
Yeah.
Well,
Notes
she
of
was a
butterscotch.
Notes.
She was
Yeah,
a
I got like,
bartender.
yeah.
You were? Oh, nice. Where? Yeah.
All over. And
Everywhere?
years ago.
We just went to bars. She actually was the bartender. So that's the first one. Now taste the second one. Tell me what you got.
I need to cleanse my palate.
You may have to, yeah.
What's Lynette got? A chaser? She's got a whole lot going on there.
Slick's pouring triples over here.
So what do you think of that one?
I get a little coffee flavor.
Coffee flavor.
She doesn't drink much. What did you give her to drink?
It's a Gubba.
You understand that when people are tasting like this, and this is on the internet, my life flashes before my eyes just before the big one hits.
That's a coffee. Coffee? Coffee. Cafe. Really? Coffee. You keep laughing like that. Coffee. Do you see? You have a sample of coffee?
What'd you do to that poor
Look at
woman?
Lynette. Lynette went to planet Mars.
Lynette,
Where'd you
how
go?
is that?
Hello, Doc. Hello.
She's focusing.
On what? The cup
Focus.
or
I
the
gotta like.
planet
I
you're
have the
on?
experience. I have to embody it. Okay.
What do you think it tastes like?
I think it's I don't know, just like sort of like a little. There's definitely a spice in there too. That's sort of like a little burny at the end. Maybe I'm not sure if it's a cinnamon or not. No, I don't know what it is, but it's like a little at the end.
A
But
little-
I do have the
You may-
coffee.
Can't
may
describe
get
that in words.
She's a
hint,
biochemist.
that note as they you make it as they
She's a
notes
biochemist.
of stuff.
Coffee. Yeah, to know.
Coffee.
But it's
They
not
both
in there.
think
There's no
coffee.
coffee in there.
No.
No, she's
That's what it
saying
tastes
that
like.
because you
Just
put it in
vanilla
her head.
and just
That's
coconut.
See, this one tastes in both of them.
The power of mentalism.
You
This
could
one
have
tastes-
said.
this
you
one
could have
tastes a
said
lot
anything
sweeter,
and it's
and this
gonna
tastes
come
more
out.
bitter.
You know
I
it.
love
I know it. Now she knows it.
Mentalism.
The Mentalist.
Like, this
Remember
one
that
tastes
movie, The
stronger.
Mentalist?
You know what I mean?
What's strong?
We should do a show
This
with
one
her called
tastes
The Mentalist
stronger.
Wife.
They're both
And this
70.
one-
They're both 70 proof.
And
They're
this one
both the
tastes
same,
sweeter,
but
though.
one is
You know what I mean?
impactful.
Flavor profiles.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's the
Both of them are
time,
delicious.
They're
you.
both
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
They
I
really
mean,
are.
I think like for
They're-
a beginner drink, someone who doesn't drink much, I'll take this one.
And you
That's
can-
a good that's a very good description because it's not 80. It's not 80 proof, and it's not. Some rums are 90 and 100 proof. They have a lot of alcohol, but they're also very harsh and they're tough to drink. This is, as we like to say, wicked smooth.
Yep.
Wicked smooth. So it's really easy to drink. It's become one of Dawn's favorites. Usually by Friday at 12. I'd say 12:20. Dawn
admit-
is
Yeah.
3 sheets.
That
You
whole
like that
concoction.
drink? I did.
I gotta
did.
admit, it was good. Now,
This
I
week
made-
I'm going with the espresso martini, though. I think I'm feeling the chocolate coffee
You
cup of
might.
gold.
You might.
Now I made a little concoction on the drinks. I want you to tell me
What we're drinking?
what's in it.
Grapefruit juice?
Okay, you're like in another planet. No, it's not grapefruit juice.
Another planet.
She's still in
You
Orlando.
keep drinking it, you get to it.
And when I say to him, and you wonder why you're not married, it's because he's always so kind with it. Today is National Be Nice to say something
be
nice
nice to
day.
me. What did you think?
I have no idea.
Now, I'm going to tell you what the secret is to bartending. You're not supposed to taste the rum. Oops. You're not supposed to taste what's in the drink.
How do you do that, by the way?
Magical. I've been a bartender
I've got a little
for
bit
12
of pineapple
years.
juice. I'm going to say
You don't know what's in
cranberry
it
based
either.
on the color.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the color, but what's in it?
Pineapple
Okay.
juice,
Okay.
cranberry juice, and Gubba Gold.
Yes. That's because she knows
Wow,
me. It's not
Dawn.
fair.
That's
Because I know my
amazing.
drinks.
Hats
Look
off
who's
to
here.
Dawn.
All right, buckle up, guys. Hi. The alchemist is in the house. You look beautiful. Come on in.
How
Rose
are
Lambert
you?
is in the house. Look at Steve. Go
How
have a
are-
seat next to Steve.
I have no idea who this is.
Rose has a new show starting with us today at 2 o'clock called The Mystic Spiritual Alchemist.
What is the name of the
Let's give her in
show?
the show.
Mystic spiritual alchemist.
Let's give her a mic.
Optimist or Altimist?
So Janelle,
And what is that?
Hey,
four
Steve
guys,
interviewing.
four.
Alchemist.
Alchemist.
I get it.
Spiritual mystic
Mystic.
alchemist.
Alchemist.
I get it.
You know what that is?
2 o'clock. 2 o'clock?
Yes.
I'm tuning in.
Oh, you should.
You're going to
What
be
are
here.
you doing
Don't miss
something
it.
with this?
He doesn't
we're gonna
realize that he's
introduce
going to
to
be
people
here.
what it is.
This is what happens
Yeah.
when you
And who
rub
I
the
am
genie in
and
a
what the
bottle.
show
That's
is
what
gonna
happens
be
when you lose
about.
control of our
That
show.
sounds great.
All right, now,
And you
now
will
this is
learn a lot
the
of
reason you
mystical
can't
things.
have
There's the
anybody
history
sit
of
next to him.
alchemy throughout the Middle
Hey,
Ages.
Mr.
Beyond
Gubba?
is
Mr.
fascinating.
Gubba? Hello, Mr.
Is there a
Gubba.
show going on? I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was a show
We
going
still
on.
have a show.
A TV.
You can talk to her in 30 minutes until your tongue falls out your mouth. That's right.
Rose, are you ready? What are we talking? What are you going to talk about today?
I'm going to introduce the show and what is going to be topics coming up, and it's like this show is going to be for everybody, but mostly like we want to help people who's awakening, the light workers, star seeds, and what the topic's going to be, and how I could help those people who's awakening, and what they could learn from this show. And then also for everybody, what kind of, mystical things they could learn from, it's like, what's the interesting things in this show? It's going to be like what's coming up, and then also giving some information about me, who I am, it's like, who's this Mystic Rose?
So let me get this right. So you like to help people who are in neutral, and you're going to put them in drive so they can get to that next level. lack of a few
Some
words.
people they're awakening. It's like awakening is like they're start the like realizing there's a spirit. They start communicating with their spirit, but they're gonna become a teachers. But along the way, there's a long journey. It's like there's if they don't have a coach or master to teach them, a guru. It could be a bumpy road. I had a very bumpy road. It's like I just want to help people so they would have an easier time. There's going to be a lot of teachers, a lot of people awakening to do this.
I love that word, awakening. Because awakening means that you're going to go to another level.
Yeah, they're rising up.
And
yes.
sometimes awakening, she said to me one day, she said, awakening can be very scary. Because there's a lot of feelings going on, things that are happening
When
in
did
your
you
life.
have your awakening?
Doing a show here.
I'm asking you a question.
7 a.m.
What was it, about 7:20 this morning?
When you
Freddie?
were 2, when you were 10, when you were
When I was-
16.
you know the story.
But nobody else
When
here
I
knows
was-
the story.
When I was 3.
When you were 3.
And they flew me to Puerto Rico because there was a disease that the doctors couldn't figure out. And I was 3 years old, and then when I became 5, I asked my mother what happened. And I'm still in the medical books. Nobody understands why I'm even here. And I've died 3 times, and I've come back 3 times, and you know one of them 7 years ago. Wasn't supposed to be here. But that's my story. And my story is different than her story. Because
course.
my story is to find the awakeners. It's to find the people who have been put down in whatever level you want to think about. And all of a sudden, you're feeling this awakening. You're feeling that you want more out of life. You're feeling that no matter what anybody said to you yesterday, it doesn't count anymore. It matters what you think about tomorrow, right? You always said, you live today so you can progress tomorrow by learning yesterday. So that's my awakening. But when I met her, she said certain words that lit me up. An awakening can be scary. It can be painful because all of a sudden you don't understand what you're going through. Even Steve Jobs may have awakening. He may have an awakening 2 years ago and he doesn't know it yet. The more intellect your mind is, the harder it is for you to grasp your awakening.
Are you going to give guidance, or are you going to give stories?
The both. Sometimes guidance, helping them, it's like, and then also I'm thinking to take calls. People who has questions, I could help them on a live show, and guide them, help them, mentor them, and sometimes share my stories. They could learn from because sometimes hearing somebody else, going through something, and they could have something similar happening. They could kind of get the point, and because it's a tough road. It is, especially in the Bible. There's 144,000. Those are here. Those people are awakening, but they are much more than 144,000, because that was back in days in the that time. In the world, there wasn't so many people. Now, with the world population, there's millions of people awakening. Those 144,000, those are the ones we're calling light workers. And those are the ones awakening, and the golden age is starting. That's what we believe.
Janelle, you agree?
I absolutely agree with that, 100%.
What do you about what, the light workers?
The awakening in general, and that there are many of us who are going through that at this time. And I do believe, as she said, that there are so many people out there that don't even understand what's happening. They're starting to all these little points are just kind of starting to awaken their mind and their thoughts and their heart. What is this? It's different.
Do you ever look at things on TV or people focusing on where they're having dinner or this microcosm of life and think, but it's so much bigger than you even realize? Sometimes I feel like, how are they looking at this little speck of what's for dinner, because it really is of non-consequence, right? When there's so much more that's happening. Is this what you think is going on?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Just a bigger picture of awakening.
Yes. Like, awakening is like people are kind of like opening to their spirituality, and communicating, and they're realizing there is more than everyday life. There's a super being, creator, source there. There's basically especially some young people was still questioning. There is a creator, and they're figuring out there's a creator, there's a higher being, there's a higher spirit out there. And then they start to communicate, and they're getting excited, and they learning things. They learning to, like philosophy of life, instead of looking at the simple things. There is, these new generation, the new kind of them now, it's like they're not that materialistic anymore. They living in the smaller homes, like they remember the back in days hippies, vans with the flower child. Now they have a new version. Hippies, yeah. And now they have again little cars. Young people. They want to live in this little cars, traveling. They want to have less.
Like little Volkswagen.
Simplistic life. And instead of having a lot of junk, they want to travel, see the world, meet other people. It's a new version of the hippies. It's like the new. They're more humanistic. They're more loving, kind, giving. It's like instead of being materialistic, there's more humanistic kind. It's like there's new generation, new loving kids, new loving generation.
I got to tell you, what I love, you get people in here who are scientific. You get people in here who are practical. Steve is a practical man, even though he knows Jewish traditions, and he's very intelligent. And then there becomes that spiritual mix. I love when the mix happens, because you can avoid the mix. You can avoid it all you want. My grandfather, may he rest in peace, Pablo, said to me, bring me the preacher. He called him a preacher. I want to apologize. And he was in his dying bed. And I said, why, Grandpa? He says, because I'm an atheist. And I want to tell him I'm sorry. I want to go to God. And that was his last words before he died. But the bottom line here is called the mix. When you get spirituality, people who are spiritually awakened, you get people that are awakening, then you get people who they are practical in towards the awakening. Well, you know, let me look at this angle and this, and because their minds work in different ways. But at the end of the rainbow, it will all come down to one point. Whether you believe me now or you believe me later, it's going to happen. And the nice thing, well, you know, the mystery of God's gifts are in your hands, right? We talked about that 7 years ago. The amazing thing is that you meet people on the journey who come up with different aspects of what you always looked at another time in your life. Whether you were sick, or your grandfather was sick, or your mother died, or whatever, and you look and you sit down and you begin to look at something bigger than you is present.
But do you ever feel that you're the only one that feels this way?
Doesn't matter.
And there's no one else that understands?
I think everyone feels the same. And, you know, years ago I would think, well, they don't have the problems I have because they have more money or they have something. But at the end of the day, when someone's sad, they're sad. And it feels the exact same way to everyone. It feels shitty, right? That's it. If someone's happy, they're happy. We all feel the things. It doesn't matter the circumstances surrounding. And circumstances can change any moment. But when you see someone in pain, like in Ukraine right now, you see someone in pain and you feel for them, you know? And, you know, and then there are people here in pain. They feel the same pain, even though the circumstances are different. So my ill concept at one time was that, well, those people don't deserve to feel this way. But who am I to think anyone doesn't deserve to have a feeling when it's a genuine feeling and they feel the same? You know, that's something that I've kind of come to realistic terms with and called myself on. Because, like, who am I to say that someone deserves a feeling more than another person?
Well, you have feel, and it begins there. Yeah. What happens after that, we haven't determined yet. I try to tell Dawn every day, I'm not interested in the why. I stopped looking for the answers to the why. Because if it's greater than you, you accept it. And what you do with it is your why. That's the why. Not understanding why, you have to feel pain and war, and man has always been against man. Always. Like they've been brutal towards one, we've been brutal towards one another since the beginning of time. You know what I'm saying? So that's never going to change. But it's you, the person, who feels, who now will go forward, and you would change that pocket around you, and that's how it begins.
And also when we talk about, so we know we have a creator, like you said, and that's wonderful that we do, thank God. You know, pardon the pun, but also the connectivity that we have, and the young people have, and the fact that we're part of now of a world web, and people can see each other's lives, and they can experience each other more. I think that is contributing toward a growing trend, like you say, of the children that don't need as much, like my son, and they don't need big houses. They don't need all this stuff because they see how unimportant it is in terms of a global view. They're seeing a global.
I think it's the mix, too, that tends to give validity to what the awakening that's happening. Now we are stretching beyond. We do have scientists who are recognizing, and it's okay to talk about it now without them sounding like, you know. Yeah, so right. I love that we're all starting to accept that this is okay, but it wouldn't have happened 20 years ago.
Do you remember in the day when you were gypsying around and you had that, people always thought you were high on drugs. They thought that you were spiritual on drugs. They didn't understand that maybe you just were spiritual. And my mother was always spiritual.
It wasn't called spiritual then.
No, they made fun of the fact if you read the Bible. They made fun of me I volunteered to go to summer school. Who the hell goes to summer school as a 12-year-old?
Well, you know, I always believed in fairies. So it was always, you're Tinkerbell, you're a fairy, until I realized why I love fairies.
It's a trigger.
Fairies to me are a good trigger.
I found that out yesterday.
Your triggers?
That's a trigger.
That's a whole nother situation. But fairies and my wand were a way for me to express who I am to everyone else to understand. Not that they needed to understand, but this is in this physical world of
how
what
you
it is.
related it, yes.
Right. It's how I could relate what I was feeling to everybody else.
It's
This
like
is
Steve
why I
with
love
Gubba.
children. Children are amazing like that. My daughter went through The Mermaid. That's how she expressed her. And I can't tell you how many like little spells that she would write up for herself. And I mean, she was like 6, 7 years old. She would put on her mermaid tail, go out in the full moon with her spell, and just be so deep in it. And I love that children have, and it's okay for them to have those feelings, whereas adults, we can't quite, share these things.
Except Rose is going to bring all of that back. You know, what's similar about you two ladies, Friday when we had the blackout, Freddie said, Janelle, stop doing what you're doing. Rose walks in and she says to me, was it about 1:30? I said, yeah. She said, I was very upset. I had a problem with the bank. And that's why you had the blackout.
I wish you wouldn't have brought that up because you said 15 minutes ago on the show.
But these two ladies together, and you both sit here with your grandmothers for inspiration and your spirituality. And you have never met, but I'm glad you're here on the same set because today's an amazing day of awakening, which is great because tomorrow we get out of Mercury retrograde, and I am so
I
ready
thought it was yesterday.
to be out of
Is that
tomorrow.
what's been going on? It was Tuesday.
It's
You
tomorrow.
said it was yesterday.
June 2nd. All I can tell you is we're almost there.
Well, that explains it all.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, you have no idea.
No, the Gubba Rum Steve seems to be explaining it all.
This is the retrograde cure.
This is like truth serum. What did you give me?
Magic. Now, Janelle, I'm going to tell you, I used to wear Square Bob Sponge Pouch slippers.
Square Bob SpongeBob?
That guy. I
I'm
used to
glad
wear the
he's
whole-
not drinking Gubba Rum either.
I used to wear
Square Bob
the
SpongeBob?
outfit to walk the dog, my dog Sammy. I was 42.
Alana's going to edit that.
So I used to walk in the street and people would look at me and say, how you doing? And how you doing? And then I took a little, remember when those frogs going, wah? I took that with me. So if you looked at me, I used to give you a little wah, wah, wah. Just to point out, you're looking at me. And I'm going to tell you something, everybody loved it. They used to come to the door, bring me cake, aspirin. They thought I should have meds. This is a true story. Why? You never did anything like that? Get dressed up in a Tinkerbell thing and go outside, go shopping in the supermarket?
No.
You never did that?
No.
Why?
No. People would just
Why
ask.
not?
People would just ask me to spread my pixie dust and do what I do.
I would tug in his snowball.
People would come up to me and say, can you sprinkle some pixie dust and do this? Can you heal this? Can you... Like, only God does that, but that's
You
what they
never
would
got
ask me to
dressed
do.
in Tinkerbell, like a fairy,
maybe once.
and go to Publix.
No, not to Publix.
Why?
Who does that?
Not at Halloween or anything?
No, forget about Halloween. That's another story. Hey, man, you dress me up, but that's another story. Have you ever gone and done something out of the ordinary because you can, because you want to? Not to impress anybody, don't do it for that, but because you can. That's the awakening. That's where the makeup.
Don't you
whole
wonder what
shakeup
Rose
comes
is thinking right now?
from. Rose is the one putting it in my head.
Rose has got this most amazing story. Rose grew up in Turkey, the top of a mountain with her grandmother,
Oh, yeah.
a 6th grade education, but is an incredible, empowered, entrepreneurial woman. From costumes with Disney to owning gas stations to living this amazing life that you're going to share this story today, all on awakening.
Everything she touched turned to gold. One of those stories.
Yeah. And now it's like I want to do this more than ever because when people are awakening, they experience things like sometimes a person could feel like a Jesus because they have to experience that feeling. That's the growth. It's a process on the special, on the awakening process. They might feel sometimes somebody in the history have that, it's like they could feel like maybe somebody famous in the history. They feel like that. When they say that to their family, they ending up in the mental health facilities and a lot of medication, and they getting labeled. And I want to have this program, so it's like I am not saying everybody doing that is going through a spiritual awakening, but so many of them getting labeled and ending up in the mental facilities. They're not sick. They're just going through a spiritual awakening, and I want to help those people. And there's so many of them out there because it's a mass awakening happening. And I hear so many stories like that, and it's breaking my heart. And I'm hoping with my program, my show, I could able to touch and I could help those families. Maybe just take him, give him a little chance. Maybe take him to some spiritual center. Talk to somebody else who's spiritual before making these, putting these kids into the, all these medications or putting into some mental facility.
I have to ask you a question because you're Jewish.
Right.
You were raised Jewish, your daughter is Orthodox, your grandchildren are raised in the Orthodox community.
Right.
But yet, we've talked about different angels that you bring in. Mm-hmm. And you bring in Jesus.
Yes.
And you bring in the Virgin Mary.
Yes.
And you bring in Michael.
Right.
Do you ever get pushback as to, you're Jewish, how can you bring in Jesus and Mary and Archangel Michael?
When I was going through my spiritual awakening, and I went through training with the spirits, and I learned things it's not in the books, and so they are all friends. Like, they don't have religious wars over there. All the prophets are friends, and we people down here, we have differences. They don't have differences up there. It's everything peaceful up there. So it's like everybody, and we're supposed to respect each other religion anyway. And then also they're all from God. It's like the religion is like the different religions are it's like a one elephant. One of them is the foot. One of them is the horn of the elephant. One of them is the tooth. It's like when you put all together, you could say one religion. It's like it's all from God. So it's all God's creation. So it's like it's okay. And I believe in all of them. And then also it's like spiritually, I went through a training. It's all good. And I call Jesus and I call angels. And yeah.
What do you think, Lynette?
Well, Rose, I converted to Judaism. Okay, I was raised Catholic, and I really love the religion and the concept. And what I loved most about Judaism is that the concept of Messiah are 32 people in the world at one time who come together to bring the message of peace. Because one person alone can't do it. But these are what you're saying, Jesus, all these people that come together. One cannot do it. And what they say is 32 is what the rabbi told me are needed. And that is what Messiah is.
Yeah. It's like we all have to unite, and
That
we
makes a
all
lot of
have to
sense.
be, for humanity, we all have to be peaceful.
It's funny.
Makes a lot of
I
sense.
grew up.
Nations now, I think the nations
I grew up
are what?
Catholic, then I turned Protestant, and the Jews wouldn't have me, so I couldn't do that. But at the end of the day,
We'll take you.
the way I see it is, I see Steve, like Kenny Love says, and I just love the guy. It is what it is. I see the ladies in the studio. I don't care what I am. It makes no difference to me. You want to call me Catholic or Jewish? Those aren't my beliefs. Those are things you're giving me. And you want to call me that, then call me that. But I can tell you the truth. I know how to treat somebody else.
The golden rule, love is love.
you.
Golden rule.
I born in Turkey. It's like some of my families Muslim, and so some of my family members are Muslim, and I know the Muslim religion very well too because I grew up in the Muslim towns, and my daughter's practicing Orthodox Jewish, and my grandkids are growing up Orthodox Jewish, and I married a Catholic man. It's like so I go to church. I mean, it's all, I go to temple. It's all house of God. It's like, to me, it's just a house of God. I go to, mosque, temple. It just doesn't matter. It's just where you worship God. It doesn't matter for me.
People are people. That's all it comes down to.
People wonder why we love coming here every day.
Well, but it's a different energy. We're not looking at hate. We understand that you have a different belief. That's okay too. Listen, I love peanut butter. She loves jelly. I got no problem with that.
Right.
Put them together, you get a great sandwich, right?
Exactly.
You don't always have to be right. You just have to be right in accepting other people's way of doing things. And this goes for everything across the board. Simple. Now, I want to hear from Steve.
He has been very
What do
quiet.
you want to hear?
I don't know. You're very quiet.
First of all, I thought I was going to ask Rose if I heard a trace of a Hungarian accent, because that's what I'm hearing a little, at least I think I'm hearing.
Turkish.
It's Turkish.
Yes.
And what part of Turkey did you grow up in?
Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a beautiful city.
One of the
Thank
smartest
you.
men I've ever met.
It's such a fascinating place.
It's a lot of cultures passed by from there.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Eastern Roman Empire. It's just an extraordinary thing.
It's so mixed. Like I had like 10% Italian in me too. It's like because the Romans was there too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You ever been to Turkey?
It's very fascinating. I'd love to learn more about your
Israel
history.
and Egypt, not Turkey.
I went to
and your history.
Well,
I went to
stay.
Constantinople. Hot as hell. Hot as hell. Then I went back to the ship because the ship brought me there. And I bought 100 heads of sheep. And I traded the sheep
For me?
my
No.
ex-wife. Then I said, if you can get the sheep on the ship, you got a deal. The guy looks at me and says, no, I can't do that. I said, well, then you can't have the ex-wife.
Rose, I feel like you have this big, I don't want to say, not a cauldron, because I think of, but something, this big vat of energy in front of you that you put everything in, and then when you mix it all together, it's like this amazing awakening. I'm so excited for your show to start today at 2
What
o'clock.
time is that?
2 o'clock in an hour.
And her website, the Facebook page is what?
Her Facebook page is Mystic Spiritual Alchemist. So please like the page. It's going to originate there, and then you and I will do the magic of what we get to do on TV.
Correct. Absolutely.
But I feel like it's all in this big crystal awakening globe
Thank you.
of what you're going to be doing. And Bree is so excited. Spiritual Mystic Alchemist, sorry.
Spiritual Mystic Alchemist. Did she say it wrong?
I've been having
Did the
some
Great
gubba.
Kazoo say it wrong?
This is what gubba does.
Sure.
The Great Kazoo. Now she's going to blame you.
They already did. She just did.
It's either you or you.
I would
So
love,
pick one.
I would love being you. You should dress up like a gubba bottle.
Yeah, I could do that.
Because
okay.
everybody
Bree,
will
what is it?
blame you for all the negative things.
They
in
already
life.
do.
They do, right?
Spiritual Mystic Alchemist.
I love that position. That's a great position. You want to blame me?
No religion things. I have my rosary beads. My boyfriend's mother's rosary beads. It's like I have them with
Wow.
You know, it gives me good luck.
Honey, you make your own luck. At birth, that was all you. You just
I
got to
use
bring
them
it.
as a
You know what the
pendulum,
hardest?
too.
You know what
use
the
it as a
hardest
pendulum.
part?
Of course you do.
You know what the hardest part is about luck? Is you got to bring it. Because you got to believe it.
Where'd you get those?
I got you guys some of these. I'll put in the kitchen.
What do you
What is
got
she
now?
doing?
Passover chocolate
Passover
covered jelly.
jelly rings.
Passover jelly rings. Great.
Putting it in the kitchen. We may have mayonnaise in the refrigerator. She's going in the kitchen.
It's Passover? It's Passover.
No.
I love those jelly
No horseradish. That's horrible.
I think you
Are
should
you kidding?
convert.
I'm going to convert. If I can get a cookie, I'll convert.
The chocolate jelly rings. You'll probably
Oh,
love
I
it.
love chocolate jelly rings.
You're
Yeah.
a sick. I knew you were a sick person. If you eat
I
that
love.
stuff.
My father worked for
Your
for
father would
Jewish,
love them, right?
Jewish landlords in New York for over
Yes.
50 years. I have more of those jelly rings than I know what to do with.
My father loves
They're
those.
delicious. You like them?
No, but my father does.
Do you ladies like the jelly rings? You like those?
They're dipped in chocolate,
You know
so
what
it gives
they
it
are?
a
You
little
like
bit
them,
of an
right?
added.
Yeah, you like it. You
You
like
know
'em.
it.
Yeah, everybody likes it except for Steve.
What made
No-
you
no
convert to
way.
Judaism, Lynette?
No way.
You know, I always felt that I had a respect for every religion anyway. Like, love is love. The golden rule is the golden rule. You treat others, do unto others. And then my ex-husband, now unfortunately, things didn't work out, but that happens. My son is Jewish, And he is actually Jewish, my ex-husband. And, you know, I figured love is love, and I'm willing to convert because I want my son to be Jewish, and I respect the religion so much. I respect the people, the perseverance, the ability, the tolerance. It's really a beautiful way to live, and the most inviting, nicest people, I must say, that I've met in my life since I came into the clan. So,
Well, welcome to the clan. Janelle, were you born Jewish?
So, funny story. You know, Shimshi is born and raised in Israel. I went to Israel in '94 was my first trip. And something overwhelming happened to me while I was in Jerusalem, standing at the wall. And from that moment, I always wanted to be Jewish, right? I happened to be, about a year later, met a Turkish guy who was a devout Muslim. And that kind of, even through that and watching him pray 5 times a day, I was like, I feel my heart and my spirit is in Judaism. And I already had my daughter's name picked out, Shalom, and it just happened that I met Shimshi. He was from Israel. I converted when I was pregnant so that she would be born Jewish. Fast forward 15 years, I do DNA, the ancestry, and found out that my family from Europe is Ashkenazi.
Really?
So it was already there.
It just came home.
Wow.
Yeah, that was it.
Can tell you is everyone buckle up for 2 o'clock. I am beyond words at this point in time.
But it's good stuff.
It's all unbelievable. But this
Even
is
Steve
all.
is Jewish, so we got Jewish and Jewish and Jewish and Jewish and Jewish.
This is all. Sometimes I think those
Jewish.
that convert
Honorary.
believe more in.
I'll shower.
I really
I'm
think
supposed to take a
sometimes
bath or
those
something?
that convert to Judaism, and I've talked to my future daughter-in-law about this when I first met her. She came with
She's
us
Catholic.
too. She's Cuban Catholic, and she sat with us in synagogue the first time I met her and said, but now it all makes sense. She said, all the questions I had for the priest, and she has not converted, and my son is getting married to her. But she said, all the questions I had growing up in Catholicism school, in Sunday school, that no one had an answer for, this all makes sense. Because as Rose says, we are all one, and it is the politics, in my opinion, and the financial gain of different aspects of it that divided us. And if you ladies can all bring this back together, I'm going to take that big glass pot that Rose has, and we're going to
bring it
go
all back together. All you got to do is, how do you fill a bucket?
one drop at a time.
That's all you got to do. You believe in you go from there, and you're magnetic. People are attracted to you. You know that. You've known that. Whether you believe it or not, you could be a Jew, a Muslim, a Catholic, a Protestant. I don't care what you are. Just be you. Don't give me the roll up.
They're telling us we got to wrap it up. All right, everyone. Our producers are saying we got to wrap this up. All I can say is tune in today at 2 o'clock for the Spiritual Mystic Alchemist Show with your host, Rose Lambert. More to come. Ladies, thank you so much.
so
It has been a
much. That was
pleasure.
awesome.
More to come. Steve, as always, Gubble Rum in the house, at least
you
for a
so
week.
much.
Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late. And remember, go Rangers.
Yes, go Rangers.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
There was a noise from somewhere deep. We heard the sound, it was bittersweet. Voices calling out from an aching heart, getting so much closer we're staying apart, singing a song of hope and love that you heard when I heard. I feel what you feel. We will survive. We will stay strong. Love is the word, and hope is the song. The streets are empty, but the sky is clear. You want somebody and can't have them near. Taking shelter where you can when the world is at stake. Alone together, trying hard not to break. Singing a song